Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the flight deck. We are here in Raleigh-Durham in North Carolina. Today's the penultimate flight of our trip around the lower 48. We're heading up to Richmond, Virginia. I know the thumbnail says Sandston. That is the small town where the airport is actually located in. Hey, Kevin. But we are heading up to Richmond, Virginia as our second to last state. We did have ATC up, but they just went offline. We'll see if they come back. And we did have a storm system move through here that stretched all the way from the southern U.S. up through Canada. We had heavy rains all morning. It's now to the east of us, but we do have some winds and everything, so that'll make the flight interesting, and lots of clouds in the area. So we're here at our gate. We can start getting everything set up. We have 36 passengers today, and we'll make the flight up to Richmond. So grabbing our checklist, the parking brake is on, throttle levers are flight idle, control lock is engaged, condition levers are in fuel shutoff, flaps are 0, battery masters and batteries are off, wipers are off, circuit breakers have all been checked, weather radar is up, and oxygen quantity and mass are good. So Roger's going to go ahead and do the walk around, and we'll get going with everything else inside the aircraft. So masters, battery, AC gen, DC gen are on, left and right batteries now coming on, DC external power is now connected, bus tie is closed, and DC generators are all off. We have our load and volts are checked as well. Up top, flight data recorders to normal, ELT to auto. We'll get the lights up to where we want them. There we go. Fuel cutoff switches or T handles are pushed in, and the fire and smoke warning tests have been done. Moving down to the lower panel, windshield heat and wipers are off. Airframe de-ice is off, pitot-statics are off, propeller de-ice is off, battery temperature is coming up. Position lights are now on. Engine ignition 1 through 4 are all set to normal. Auxiliary fuel pumps 1 through 4 are off. Fuel transfer is off. Valves are closed. Engine start switch is off. Cabin pressurization is set to automatic. AC external power is off. Inverters on left bus. AC generators 1 through 4 are off. Engine bleeds 1 through 4 are off. Air system is set to auto. System is turned on. And the no smoking seat belts and emergency exit lights are on, so passengers can start coming on board. There they come. Moving down to the glare shield. Get rid of the yoke in front of us here. Local time is 3:33 in the afternoon, and clocks are checked. Flight taxi switches to taxis. GPWS is checked. Yaw damper switch is normal and guarded. Flight taxi switch is in taxi. Lane lights are off. PFCS lights are off. Autopilot's at the captain's side. Caution and advisory lights. There's the caution lights are looking good, and advisory lights are looking good as well. Sticker phase is up, and anti-skid is now on. Coming onto my side, steering is off, stall and overspeed warnings are done. Flight instruments are now set, and we will get the current weather here for Raleigh. Should have an update. We do. So, got a decent wind, and 240 at 12. We're going to be taking off on 23 right. 10 miles of visibility. We've got a couple of different cloud layers as we work our way up. It's currently 30 degrees, 29.79 on the barrow. So there's that low pressure for that storm system that just went through. 79 in over here. And we'll get 79 set on Rogers. There we go. Alright, DMEs will come on. And we'll set up Rogers as well. Compass is good. Hydraulic or the slave hydraulic pressures and quantities are good. And static source selector is to normal. Main panel, so we still have no ATC, so we're going to set our cruise altitude of 11,000 feet. There we go, 11,000 feet is set. Prop auto feather is off, engine intake deflectors are retracted, engine instruments are all looking good.
On behalf of the cabin crew,
Landing gear
I'd like
mute
to
warning
welcome you
horn
aboard our
is
flight.
checked.
As you find your seat, be sure to place your larger
Pitch and
carry-on
roll
items in the
handles
overhead
are
bins, and
in.
smaller
Weather
items
radar
under the
is
seat in
on
front of
standby
you. If you have
transponder.
trouble finding a location
We
for any
did
of your
not
carry-on
get
items,
an
please
ATC
use the
code
flight
because they
attendant
were
call
up when we
button
came
over
on,
your
so we'll
seat.
set
Somebody will
1,000.
assist you. After you
Comms,
put
we're
your
going to come
carry-on
down
items
here,
in the overhead bin and it is full, make
122.8.
sure
We're
you
going to
close it as
switch
a
that
courtesy
over,
to other
and I'm going to
passengers.
grab the
Also, be
CTAF
sure that the aisle is
for
clear and
this
sit down
airport.
so that way other passengers can get by you. If you are seated in an emergency exit row, please review the exit seating responsibilities in the safety card provided for you. Please make sure that you are able and willing to perform these actions. If you're not, please let a flight attendant know so that way you can be reseated.
CTAF frequency is 127.45.
But we do ask that laptops, tablets, and any other larger electronic devices are stowed once we depart from the gate. Thank you, and welcome aboard.
Get this down to 4.5. There we go, and we'll switch that over. So we're now on the local CTAF frequency for the airport. As for the nav radios, a couple VORs today. There's the ones at both airports, and then there's a midway one that we're going to use as well. So 117.2 is the first one we're going to be looking for. The next one is going to be 112.9. That one in there, and then the one after that will be 114.1, and that is the airport VOR, and that is set. See, we're already picking up the airport one here. It's 0.7 miles away. Zoom in here. So the heading we're going to want to be flying. The heading we will be flying out of Raleigh will be 39 degrees roughly. We'll figure it out once we get going. And the runway heading is 234. So we'll get our heading around to 234. Which is going to be right about there, and that is now set up for that.
We're on your time now.
Alright, set the nav radios. We'll turn on Rogers as well, get them up and going. Flight instruments are done. That's done. We'll get his lights up on his side, and we'll make sure ours are up as well. There we go. So parking brake is set, throttle levers are in flight idle, control lock is set, condition levers are in fuel shut off, flaps are retracted, flight idle gate is out, and the light is on. Autopilot yaw dampers are off, trim is set for takeoff. We'll treat ourselves as self-cleared, and we are going to push back. So back here, let's get the door closed, and before engine start. So takeoff data and speeds are set, doors and windows are closed, anti-collision light will go to red.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen,
Parking brake
and welcome
again is
aboard
set, power
flight
levers,
32,
condition levers have
the
been
service
checked,
to Virginia.
and
Our
DC
flight time will be
generators 1
roughly
through 4 are
36
coming
minutes.
on.
Please note the cabin doors are now closed. We ask that
Call
you make
for a
sure that all
push.
devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down and stowed. If you have not already, please fasten your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight across your lap. Your tray tables and seatbacks must be in the full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew, secure doors for departure.
So as this worked last time, we're once they get hooked up, we're ready for push. Before we release the brakes, we'll disconnect the DC external power, and then we'll start on batteries. But we're ready. You can hear that wind blowing out there. Everything looks good. we are ready to go. Final flight for the series will take place tomorrow.
Bypass pin
And that will
inserted.
take us into West Virginia and our final destination airport. And then we will be back Friday to begin our CH-47 series. I have to do a flight or two on that one just to make sure I remember how to fly it. Alright, he's doing the gear locking dance. We are going to go nose right, tail to the left.
Release parking brakes, please.
Let's get back inside. So we're going to lean up. We'll turn off the DC electrical power and we will release the brakes.
Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Alright, so normal sequence. Engine number 3 selected. Aircraft is starting to roll. Engine start number 3. Once that's up and running, it'll provide DC power to the aircraft. And we won't be starting on the batteries anymore. Alright, starting engine number 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the flight attendants for a safety demonstration. When the seatbelt light is fastened, please make sure that your seatbelts are fastened low and tight across your lap. They fasten insert the metal fittings into one another and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion
There we
of
go.
the buckle.
We are up
Please
to
adjust your seatbelt fasten
70%.
throughout the entire flight, as you may experience
Start off
unexpected turbulence.
engine
There are
4.
several emergency
Starting
exits
engine
on this
4.
aircraft. To familiarize yourself with the emergency exits on this aircraft, please refer to the safety card in the seat back pocket in front of you.
Adding
In some
fuel.
cases, your nearest exit might be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, there is lighting on the floor to guide you towards the exit.
Don't jackknife it, buddy. That's getting pretty
mask
sharp
or
angle
belt in
there.
front of you. Start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you, and place it firmly over your nose and mouth. Secure the elastic band behind your head and tighten the straps if necessary.
That was an interesting
and don't
push.
worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Oxygen is
There we
flowing
go.
to the mask.
Good
and
start on engine
normally.
4.
If you're traveling with
Over to
children,
engine
now's
2.
the time to pick your favorite one. But secure your mask and then assist others. Keep your mask on until a member of
Please
the
set
crew
parking
decides
brakes.
to remove it. In the
Waiting
unlikely
your
event
confirmation
the
for a
water
good
main,
engine
a
start.
life vest is located in
Adding
the pouch
fuel.
under your seat or between the armrests. When instructed to do so, open the plastic
There's the
pouch
prop
in
starting to
your seat
rotate.
vest. Flip it over your head.
Just
Wrap
before
the
we
strap
started,
around
we had
your
a
waist
couple
and buckle
aircraft
at the
depart
front.
out of here.
Pull
One
the
for
strap
Boston
tightly.
and one for
Place
Baltimore.
the vest pull firmly on
So
the
the
right
airport does
cord
get
only
used.
when exiting the aircraft. If your life vest does not inflate automatically, blow into the mouthpieces for manual inflation. Each vest is equipped with a whistle and
Alright,
light.
it sounds
If
like that engine
necessary,
is
your
up
seat
and
is
going. It
as a
is.
secondary flotation device.
And
Pull the
start her
cushions
off.
Slip your arms into the straps and
Engine
hug the
number
cushions
1.
to your chest. Once again, all devices must be in airplane mode and your larger devices must be turned off and stowed at this time.
There we go.
Please
Engine number
securely
1
stow your
adding
personal
fuel.
items. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatories is prohibited by law. All of this information and more can be found in the safety card located in the seat back in front of you. We suggest reading this and letting your cabin member know if you have any questions. Thank you for flying with us again, and we hope you enjoy your flight.
Interesting how the load was showing on the generators and not on battery. Guess I don't have that modeled. Anyway, that's a good start on engine number 1. And we are up and running.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Alright, all 4 engines are going. They're disconnecting, so start selector is off. DC external power switch is confirmed in the off position. DC volts and load are good. Battery temperatures are good. AC generators 1 through 4 are all coming online. Engine bleeds are now coming on as well. That'll get some air moving into the
Unlocking
back.
gear.
Coming down to the flight director. Flight directors are now on. PFCS lights are out. Prop auto feather is cell green. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. Engine instruments are all good.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin
Hydraulic
removed.
quantities and pressures are up in all three systems. Weather radar
Left
is
is clear.
inoperable. Flaps
Right is clear.
15. Flight controls. Control lock is off. We have movement in all 6 axes. Elevator trim is set for takeoff. Yaw damper is on. Ground equipment is clear. There's the pin. Thank you very much. Condition levers, engines 1 through 4 are moving up to max RPM. And steering is on. Taxi light is now on. So we're going to taxi just ahead here. We're going to follow this line out on Foxtrot all the way down to Bravo 8 for our departure today. So brakes are set. Off on the brakes.
We're ready for departure.
We've got the Bravo line on the other side for aircraft coming back down the other way. A little bit of bumps in the terrain there. You hear First Officer Molly barking out. She's been a little bit vocal today. So I've told her to be quiet, but we'll see if she listens. Heading by some of the general aviation hangars. There's a bit of a smaller cargo facility up here on the right. It's Bravo 6 we're going by. And as mentioned, we're going to go to Bravo 8. There's 7. There's the windsock blowing in the wind. It was fairly windy. Still is fairly windy here in Toronto. We had rain started about 11 o'clock last night, and I was out on the other side of the city earlier today, and it was just coming down. You can see the line coming up. We might be going to Bravo 9 here. Yeah, we're going all the way to the end, Bravo 9. There wasn't a line off of it for Bravo 8. That's good. We're paying for the whole runway, we might as well use it. Bravo 8's just right there anyway. Brakes are set, so windshield heat going to warm up. Pedostatics are coming on. Engine bleeds are all set in low. Ignition is all the normal. Auxiliary fuel pumps 1 through 4 are now on. Flight taxi switch is set to flight. Ground spoilers are deployed. Auto feather cell green. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. Control locks are clear. Condition levers for all engines are now at maximum RPM. Flaps are 15, confirmed 15. Flight controls are checked. Takeoff trim is checked. Caution lights are good. That's ground spoiler light is on. Cabin will give them a ding, and we will take our position. Still no ATC here. Just take a look up. Don't see anything coming in. We'll move out and get ready to go. So once we finish this series, the Dash-7 will get parked away for a bit. We may see it in another livery down the road. We will have to see. But for now, it's going to get parked away. So we're lined up, brakes set, all 4 condition levers are max RPM, engine and tape deflectors are all retracted. Engine's coming up to 3,200. Ground spoilers are now closed. Wait for the auto feather to arm. There we go. Raleigh-Durham area traffic, Allegheny 32, rolling runway 23 right, departure to the northeast. Brakes are released. And takeoff power set. Should have done a taxi call, but I forgot. Alright, airspeed's alive. With that wind, it came up a little bit quicker than I thought it would. But we're up, positive rate, gear up. Autopilot is set. We're on heading mode. Just getting that nose down slightly, get that speed coming up. There's our speed mode. 500 feet. Flaps up. Pulling back the power to under 4,000. And we're going to bring the propellers back to 107. 10,700 RPM. Place today. There we go. And we'll bring the engines back up to 4,400 for our climb power, or thereabouts. And we are climbing out. All right. So we're going to make the turn around to the right, and we'll come around to intercept the localizer there. Start by turning northward. And I will fine-tune the props. There we go. Cruise power set, landing gears confirmed up, flaps are confirmed up, auto feather is fine, engine intake deflectors are retracted, flight idle gate is in and the light is out. Taxi light is now off. Let's turn the landing lights on. Oh, I forgot to do a lot of things here. The transponder on as well. Ignition is good. Auxiliary fuel pumps are coming offline. Engine bleeds are good. Cabin pressurization is fine. Altimeters will stay local pressure, and landing lights and passenger signs at 10,000 feet. Alright, we're now going to turn 030. A minute, and then we'll turn a little bit further to bring us in for the intercept. We're not picking up the next one yet, so it must be low power. It's only 46 miles away from the airport, so if it was high power, we would be picking it up. We'll wait till it gets to 5 miles and then we'll make ourselves inbound. We're just passing by it now. So there's still a lot of storm activity and stuff in the area. Just to the east of us. Winds are high. We're going to get a bit of a push. I'll check the winds at roughly the altitude we're going to be at. Yeah, it should be pushing us between 40 and 50 knots. Should be getting a slight push, so we should have a good ground speed. Put the whether we may hit some edges of the storm on the way out. We'll see what happens. There's 10,000 feet coming up. Turn to 060. We'll pick up the needle here. It's 10,000 feet. Look at the lights. Seat belts. You can see the convection stuff from remnants of the storm.
Gentlemen, we have now passed 10,000 feet. You may turn on larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to please keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the duration of the flight and do not form a line near the lavatory. The flight crew has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You can now get up and move around the cabin. However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when seated in case of unexpected turbulence.
So we're flying up to Richmond, Virginia today. And at the airport, there's currently 5 arrivals and 2 outgoing on the board.
Due to the short duration of this flight, we will not be able to offer in-flight service. Please let us know if there's anything we can do to make your flight more enjoyable, and we will try our best to assist you.
So 2,500 is our platform altitude at the other end. Let me confirm, 2,500. I'm only going up to 11,000 feet. There we are capturing now. So that means we got to lose just about 8,000 feet. So we're going to be starting down about 35 miles out. And we'll get ourselves set. So here comes the VOR. And at 11,000 feet for our cruise, we want 420 pounds of fuel per hour. So I'm just going to hit that, and then we'll come down here and do the power setting. So the engines are all stable at the props are all stable at 107. We're going to bring the engines up, see how close to that 420 we can get. So we're not even making, we're not making that given the outside air temperature and density and everything. So throttles are fully forward. Our speed is what our speed is. Hey, Chris. And given we've got that 40 to 50 knot tailwind, we should be getting some pretty good speeds. We're already at over 250, and we're just kind of settling in here. So it should be good. We're going to want to go to it says 46 degrees, so let's go try 46 degrees. See how that puts us onto our line to the next VOR. So from the LVL VOR, which is the one we are heading towards now, that's the Lawrenceville VOR, we are going to be 50 miles from the airport. think what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to fly to the VOR, and then we're going to go into the pattern. So it kind of wants us at 3,000 feet at the VOR over the airport. And we're going to head off outbound, and then we're going to do a turn, and we'll turn in for the VOR. So we're basically going to hit that point at 3,000 feet. We'll go north about 15 miles and turn around and come back in for the intercept at 2,500. So that means we're going to want to lose 8,000 feet. And if we do the maths, that's 34 miles roughly, so about 35 miles out from the airport we'll begin our descent. And that's going to be at 1,000 feet per minute. We do have this push though. We are doing 273 knots. So I think we'll start at 40 miles just to make up for the tailwind we've got blowing here. So distance between VORs is 71 miles. We should pick up the other one between 35 and 40 miles. So within the next 10-15 miles we should have it. And then we can switch over to that one. It's funny, Friday we had all the ATC up, start to finish. Today they've all gone away. There's that storm line. It's actually moved to the east of us now. I thought we were going to be having it a lot worse actually when I was loading up. I wasn't sure how far it had moved, especially down here in the States. Because like I said, we did get a lot of rain here today, last night through this morning. It stopped about 1 o'clock, so a couple hours ago. .274 ground speed. I think that's the highest I've ever seen this airplane do. Check the VOR. Yeah, high altitude, which means it'll be a high power. So we should be able to pick that up no problems once we're ready for it. There we go. The other one has come in, so let's bring our heading indicator around onto our current heading. We'll switch over. We'll get our nav over. So now we're heading to the VOR. We'll switch over to nav mode. Over here, we're going to switch over to the Richmond VOR. And that's coming in now as well. You can see 97 miles out. Again, at what did I say? 24, 34, 40 miles we're going to start down. So we got 55 miles to go before we begin our descent. Right, so now that we're chugging along here, let's check our weather for Richmond. Okay, a little bit of a change. throw it into the chat. But it looks like we got an overcast layer at 7,500, broken at 23, broken at 18. So we're going to be between cloud layers, it looks like. And winds have steadied at 180 at 15 knots. We're going to be landing on runway 16. And it is overcast. 2973 is the barrow. So we will dial that in now. And make sure we are ready with that. 2973. We're good there. Everything is looking good. Now we come up top, DC generators are good. That's good. We're all good through here. Heaters are on. De-ice is on. Fuel quantities are still looking good. Everything is off on that line, and we're good down over here. To go now. So as mentioned, our final flight in this series will be tomorrow when we're flying into West Virginia, which is the last state we're visiting here on the lower 48. And then we are going to be let's just go over here. And then we're going to be coming back on Friday with the first of the new series in the Chinook CH-47D helicopter. And we will be doing our flights around the Great Lake. We're going to kind of circumnavigate all of the lakes. It'll be VFR flying. And it's on multiplayer, so if you want to come along, if you don't have a helicopter but you still want to fly along, small airplane that can do 150 knots should be good. That'll be about the speed the chopper's doing. So you'll be able to join in and fly along with that. Information will be up on the Discord probably on Wednesday, and you can, or at least by Wednesday, and you'll be able to see what it is, what we're flying, and come along. We are going to be hopping from airfield to airfield, so we'll be making a couple stops along the way as we work our way around the lakes. Depends on the lakes. Some of them are kind of short, some of them are a lot longer, and we'll see how that goes. Everything's looking good. We are 16 miles out from the VOR. Make sure our heading bug is lined up. There's 10 miles to go. We will turn on the heading bug. So we're flying to the heading. We'll switch over now. We'll go over to the Richmond VOR. That is set. We want to be flying into the Richmond VOR on a heading of 44 degrees. There we go. We will switch back over to nav mode now. And we'll just pick that up since we are picking up the beam anyway. And it's almost a straight line. We will tee into that. So we've got 23 miles to go before we descend. So let's look at our approach and our arrival. The arrival is going to be descending straight into the Richmond VOR. We're then going to turn to a heading of 360. Flying to the north, that's going to give us our separation so we can do a left-hand turn around for the ILS. So if we have to do a hold, we're going to go to the Hopewell VOR, which is 11435. So we can enter that one in over here. 11435. And it'll be basically almost straight out from on runway heading. We will pick up the Hopewell VOR, and that's a missed approach fix, so that's we can use that. I'm going to come down here now and dial in the ILS frequency. It's 110.7, and we'll try to remember to switch over to it this time. 110.7. That is now set. And it's going to be a heading of 157 degrees for the localizer. As mentioned, we're going to be down at 2,500 feet for the intercept. Minimums are for the ILS 367 feet or 200 on the radar altimeter. So we'll set 200 feet here. There we go. And that is all set in. We're already over onto local pressure of 2973. And we have 13 miles to go. CTAF frequency, again, since we do not have ATC up for Richmond, is 1211. Oh, I never did switch over, so there's 122.8 and 1211. Just notice Toronto's come online, Toronto Center. There's 1211. Nice, we're not using them though, but nice to see them up. My local area. Alright, 7.5 miles to go. Sim freeze. And as I've learned, if the sound is still going, everything is good. It's a bit of a long one. All right. To go. Again, straight to the airport and then the turn to the north. So we can set that up now. As we're just heading when we cross overhead of the VOR and just head off in that direction. Richmond area traffic, Allegheny 32 is 40 miles to the southwest, leaving 11,000 feet inbound to cross overhead the field and do the turn for the ILS runway 16 Richmond. Alright, so vertical speed mode. Engine's coming back. We're going to dial down to 3,000. Slowly let the aircraft slow down a little bit. There we go. We're going to give it some forward notching. Pull the engines back a little bit further. And we want to try to lock that in at 1,000 feet. And then we want 180 knots on the speed. There we go, about 1,000 feet per minute. Engines are back in idle. I'm going to watch that speed as we descend downwards. As we come up for 10,000 feet, we'll get the lights on, fling them in the back, seatbelt signs on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign is now turned on, so it is time to return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts.
Above 10,000 feet, and our temperature outside is about 7 degrees, 6 degrees, so not too worried about icing. We'll keep an eye on it.
We have begun our final descent into Virginia. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you.
And lovely coming down through the clouds. Thousand feet, speed's good, holding nicely. 24 miles out, 5,000 feet to go, and we've still got the turn up and around, so if we're a little high when we get to the airport, that's fine. If we're right at 3,000 feet, that's even better. If anyone knows, there are lights under here, but I've never found a switch for them, like a rheostat or dial or anything. Not sure if anybody knows if there is one even. Be handy at night. So for our descent, pressurization is all checked and we are descending nicely. Fuel quantity is checked. Fuel is good. Fuel transfers are off. All valves are closed. Altimeters are set to local QNH. Landing lights are on. Passenger signs are on. Descending through 7,000 feet. Last METAR at Richmond was 17 minutes ago. No change from that. And expecting a little bit of a right crosswind of about 6 knots. It is windy down there. As mentioned, we're looking at 11 knots at the moment. Storm lights. Well, where's the See, Kevin? I know I pay you good money for a reason. There's 6,000 feet and 13 miles to go. Descending nice. Oh, there's some rain. Yeah, I figured we'd get it today. Now we got the dome lights up there. Well, yeah, you're getting paid in the national currency of Ireland, aren't you? I spelt that wrong, didn't I? Damn it. Too many letters in that word. All these N's and S's. There we go. Switch over to the CTAF frequency. Richmond area traffic, Allegheny 32 is 5 miles to the southwest. We're going to cross overhead the field, turning north to intercept for the ILS runway 16, Richmond. Alright, so there's the airport, coming down through 4,000 feet, so that calculation wasn't too bad. See, I can do math too. Though the runway we want goes this way. Oh, a cloud closing in there. Chunky cloud. So as soon as we lose the VOR, we're going to switch over to heading. And that's going to take us to the north. Let's go with altitude select for capture. And we're waiting for the VOR to drop. Cloud layer they talked about down here at about 3,900 feet. There's the drop. We're going to turn north and we're going to switch over to the ILS. So 1007 and 157 degrees. This way, shorter. Speed coming back as we've leveled. We'll get the engines up. Keep cranking this around to 157. There we go. 157 degrees is now set, so we are now heading north. Go up to do the turnaround. So we'll fly out a couple miles and then we'll descend down to 2,500 feet. We have an MSA of, well, 2,600 technically, 2,000, 2,600, but we'll be coming in on the airport, so we will be fine there. So we're going to come down here, set 2,500 feet. Let's go with IAS mode, pull the power slightly, let our edge downwards. Bring that down to 2,500 feet. So we're getting a glide slope, we're getting a localizer. No DME, although the Richmond VOR is right at the field. So we can see that we are at about 7.3 miles currently. There we go. Capturing 2,500 feet. And we'll do our initial approach. So cabin pressurization is fine. Engine bleeds are set to low. Auxiliary fuel pumps, engines 1 through 4 are now on. Passenger signs are on. We'll give a last ding for the back. Taxi light will come on. Landing lights are already on. Altimeter is confirmed. Engine intake deflectors are set, and all engines to maximum RPMs now. As we start to level off, and we'll start bringing that speed back. And we are in the Merc. To run the heading, we are now 11 miles out. We want to make the turn around 15. We're starting to level off at 2,500, and that will bring us in nicely for the intercept on the localizer. Once we land, we will be departing the runway probably at Charlie. Maybe at hotel. And then we'll work our way across. It's a bit awkward with the taxiways here, so we'll just have to see. Alright, get that speed coming back. We're at 180. We'll get it down to about 165, 160. Oh, I know. We're in the soup here. You can just start making out the ground on occasion. Alright, checking our distance. There's 15 miles. So we're going to make an initial turn to the west. There's 150, we'll bring the power up. There we go. A little bit bumpy. Alright, I think we can turn in now. So we're going to turn to 100 or 210 degrees. Go. And we're going to bring our speed back to 150 knots. Definitely going to be coming into the Merc as we come into the airport. Hopefully we'll slip just below it as we come in. And yeah, you can see what we're flying through here. There's the storm. This is what was coming through Toronto a few hours ago. It's a band that ran, a couple thousand miles from the southern U.S. right up through northern Ontario. There's 165 coming up on the intercept. $14 miles out. And you can see we've got our heading off to the hold VOR if we need it on nav 2. Alright, approach mode is armed. There we go. Miles. Not seeing anything out there. Glide slope's alive. Glide slope's alive. We're going to pull the power. Glide slope capture. First notch of flaps. 9.5 miles out. Speed coming back. Vocalizer's alive. $150 knots, gear down. 8 miles. About 7 actually to the end of the runway. Runway is just about 1.5 miles long. And the VOR, I believe, is at the other end. Flaps 25. There's the ground starting to come out. Just keeping an eye on that distance. Just start to make out the runway lights. There's 1,500 feet. Flaps full, 45 degrees, gear down 3 green, cabin is notified. And then the final ding. We are good to go. Speed's down to 110. Trying to hold it around 100. Runway's in sight. We're going to get bounced around. The wind's almost 45 degrees, so we got an almost equal crosswind and headwind. Keep the 100. See us crabbing here. autopilot off. I have control. Alright, let's get us lined up again. Keep that speed up around 100. We got plenty of room here, so the aircraft can roll if it needs to. Whites, 2 reds. Coming back on the speed. Alright, it's a little bit too high of a sink rate. We do have a displaced threshold, so I'm aiming beyond the green line. Dragging it slightly. Minimums, landing. Right, bring her back in with that wind. Knots. Bring that power back. And we're down. There we go. Welcome to Richmond, Virginia, and we are off at Charlie, which is my target.
Gentlemen, welcome to Virginia. The local time is 4:37 p.m. and it's currently about 82 degrees.
Richmond area traffic, Allegheny 32, clear runway 16.
Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins as items
So
may
control
have
lock is engaged, engines are in flight idle. Flaps coming up, condition levers on engines 2 and 3 are going into feather. Landing lights are coming off. Strobe light will come off. Oop, it was never on. Oops. It's red. That's strobe. That's good. Retracted. Windshield heat will come off. Pedostatics off. Flight taxi switch to taxi. Yaw damper is off. Weather radar, not worried about. Transponder will stay on as overparked. Alright, so for parking spots, let's see what it wants to give me here. Yeah, it doesn't want to match up. That's fine, so we'll close that. Richmond area traffic, Allegheny 32, taxiing to parking spot Alpha 14 via Charlie crossing 20 and the apron. Alright, so Alpha 14 should be the first square one on the edge of the terminal, but we'll see what it gives me when we get there. What I see. There's only a couple other aircraft here, so I don't even know if we're going to see them. There's 2 pre-files that haven't connected yet, and then there's the few others that are flying in. I don't know if any of them are here yet. A couple of them are. Crossing 20. good. There's our gate directly ahead. Let me just take a quick look at the diagram. That's the second one in by the looks of it. There we go. And we will park it up right here. So let's get the brakes on. That light off. There we go. Alright, we're here ready for shutdown. So brakes on, taxi light is off, power levers are coming back to, or going up to flight idle. We'll bring 1 and 4 back into feather, 2 and 3 will shut off. And while they wind down, DMEs will go off on both sides. 1 and 4 can shut down. We'll get some of these other things off. We'll get the external power connected. DC gens can come off. See, that should be set to battery rather than the generators, because the generators are now disconnected. Repeat. Oh, that was the warning. Okay. That was correct. That's all done. That's all done. Position light passenger signs can come off. AC generators off. Engine bleeds are now off. Batteries can stay on. Anti-skid will come off. We'll pop around to the back. And actually, no, it doesn't think we are parked, so we'll open that up, and that is going to do it for today's flight. Thank you all for coming along. Hope you enjoyed. As mentioned, tomorrow was our final flight. We're flying out of here over into West Virginia, and that will wrap up the series. Thanks for coming along. We'll see you all on the next one. Kevin, Chris, take care. Bye for now.